Hi, everybody, to the AEW Rewind podcast. We talk all about All Elite Wrestling. My name is Shawn DeLong.
I'm Justin Bradley.
And this week we have a great episode to talk about today, but before that we have news on Kris Statlander because she is now out with a knee injury. It was a high-grade ACL tear.
And then again, this is another big blow to the women's division. Luckily, as we saw this week or last night, there's two women that they added. Well, we talked about Anna Jay before, but this is like the first time she's like, it seems like they're going to push her, have a story for her. And then Abadon is a really interesting character. I think they could do a lot of cool things with her.
Mm-hmm.
But back to, Kris Statlander, obviously it's a huge blow. I mean, she was a developed women talent. And for AEW, a lot of people liked her.
It's really poor timing, too, with everything going on.
Yeah, and with Britt Baker also out now, so those two people, all we can do is just hope a travel ban gets lifted so that some of those, like, Riho, Yuka, B. Priestley, some of those girls over in other countries can come over and wrestle.
Yeah, because right now the women's division is probably the smallest division on the card, and see to get another injury to happen, it's kind of heartbreaking to see that.
Yeah, that's pretty much just heartbreaking. I mean, it sucks. Kris Statlander was one of my favorite women in the division. So hopefully, she can make a good recovery and be back, as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm. So the first match on the night we have is the tag title match between Kenny Omega and Hangman Page and the Natural Nightmares of Dustin Rhodes and QT Marshall.
Did you notice how for this Kenny was like the only one who got an entrance? I mean, I know it was taped, but like it was kind of interesting.
Yeah,
to me
both.
That, like,
both of them did come out kind of have an entrance, but like the Natural Nightmares didn't even have their entrance.
Yeah, that was kind of interesting to me. Again, we kind of knew,
Well, yeah, it was pretty obvious who's gonna win.
Yeah, but it was a fun match. I'm not the biggest fan of the pairing of the Natural Nightmares. I mean, it's not the worst, but
you kind of understand why they put them together.
Yeah, and it was a really interesting match because Dustin and Kenny. Well, Tony Khan tweeted before the show started that Dustin and Kenny never worked together, so that was a really cool, experience that we saw. Dustin still has some stuff left in the tank. Obviously,
of course.
Yeah, obviously, he's getting to the end of his career here, but I don't think he's going to be holding any titles or anything. But if he can, provide matches like this, it's better than a jobber or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, see, that's how like that. I don't know what was up with Dustin's back of his gear, but that like thing was like falling off the whole time.
I didn't even notice that, honestly.
I don't know. I kind of noticed that at one point because I saw like there's something on Dustin's back that was like flapping around it, and I think it was part of his like gear. I don't know what was wrong with it.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that. But Dustin, he had a couple good spots there as usual. He had the Panama the Canadian Destroyer, sorry, and then he had that senton. I don't know what it was off the top rope where he did like a flip and
there's that part early on. Yeah, there's that part early on where Omega like accidentally kind of clips Dustin's head with his knees when he was trying to avoid that it's kind of like like a shoulder thrust into the corner, and he dodged it, and his knees just like hit Dustin's head.
Yeah, that looked brutal. They replayed that, and I was like, oh, they're just working this. And then I saw the replay, and I was like, oh, yep, he needed straight out.
Yeah, and that will actually surprisingly there's kind of almost like another moment, almost like that happens with another Rhodes rather later in the night.
Yeah, we'll get to that later, but a solid match here.
Yeah, it was a solid match.
I mean, it wasn't amazing, but it wasn't bad. It was just a good tag match.
It was a well wrestled match.
Yeah. Crowd was very hyped up for this match.
Allie came out really late into the match, which kind of played the part into it like a little bit.
I was wondering where she was because I was like, "There's no way she's not out here yet," and I figured she would play a role.
Well, they said last week that Dustin didn't want her at ringside, but of course she came out.
She's not gonna listen.
Yeah, she's not gonna listen because.
But,
yeah. So Megan Page, of course, get the win with the last call on QT Marshall, which will probably set up a thing, kind of like continuing that story of Allie causing the distraction with QT.
Yeah, and I think there was a social exclusive or whatever they call it on Twitter after the show that they posted. It was like an interview with them, and then Allie and Brandy were there, and Allie pretty much told QT during the middle of the interview to stand up for himself, and he was like, and Allie was like, Dustin, you weren't here for him, or all this stuff. So there's definitely some tension gonna happen. I don't know if they're gonna split or what's gonna happen here, but I don't know. Is Allie still with the Butcher and the Blade, and they're just acting like she's not? Like, I don't know.
I don't know. They haven't talked about her being part of the Butcher and the Blade recently.
Yeah, I don't know if they scrapped that or if that's just like a long-term swerve.
Yeah, who knows? I don't really know where they're gonna go with that. So the next match on the show was between the two, I guess quotes, new debuting women on Dynamite, Anna Jay against Abadon.
Yeah, great. Great debut for Abadon. Well, not debut. She was on Dark, but her like official Dynamite debut.
like televised debut.
Yeah, and this was honestly a good surprise for me because I was like curious as to who she would wrestle. I was assuming maybe Anna Jay would wrestle some jobber to put her over. Next thing you know, Abadon comes out. I'm like, wow, like that's great because a lot of people like her because she's a cool character.
Yeah, because it went from Anna Jay looking like she was gonna get the jobber beat, but then she turned to the match, ended up becoming the jobber in this match.
Yeah. And Abadon has just a crazy look.
Yeah,
it's a really good character like look.
Her look is crazy. Like I watched a video where it was talking about this episode of Diamond, and they called her like a jump scare, like a horror movie.
She's like a female fiend. No, but
the art that like the paint that's on her face is like really well done, man.
And the contacts and all that stuff.
Yeah, really, like that one eye that's like black and red really looks like it's just like black. It looks really crazy.
Yeah, I mean they're doing the best they can with this women division. Obviously, that her getting added to the roster, and Anna Jay getting this push. I mean, I'm sure we're gonna. Britt's still around, so that's great. But Chris Statlander will be a big loss, and I mean they added 2 quality characters here, so
it was good for AEW to be able to get these new debuting women, I guess you could say, on the show, like right after these injuries happened.
Yeah, because they're at a point right now where it's like there's no women available to sign that are like newly released WWE talent, any big names. So like they just gotta start building characters up themselves. And it's gonna be
that also kind of plays up later when we have another debuting player. And of course, we said that Abadon wins with like a Hurricane Rana DDT kind of thing.
It was really cool. I don't know if it could be her. I mean, I'm assuming that's her finisher. I don't know if that could be a long-term finisher. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't look too, I mean, it looks bad, but I don't know if it could really finish someone off like that.
We just have to see where it's going because they are like, just new established people on the show now.
Yeah, I mean, again, happy they signed both of these talents.
And I was really surprised that Anna Jay lost like she did because they like kind of gave her a little bit of pomp and circumstance because they gave her that like vignette before the match even happened. So you kind of thought, oh well, they're obviously gonna be putting over this new up and coming star, and then Abadon came out and was like, oh.
But I mean, the thing is, you say that, but then they do play well because we'll talk about this now, I guess. Who comes after the match? Dark Order.
Because the Dark Order comes out after this match, which this has 2 big moments. Actually, this entire show is that at first Brody points to Colt Cabana, who's at ringside, well, at the the fan area where all the other talent is at. And Evil Uno comes over to him and gives him an envelope, which he opens and has a really surprised reaction. And then after that, the Dark Order, specifically, I think Brody like kind of opens up the ropes to help Anna Jay out of the ring.
Yeah, a female Dark Order member is like the last thing I was thinking about. So that's really
that was
cool.
The last thing I was thinking about as well.
Yeah. And that gives a good, it gets people interested because like, what are they gonna do, with this whole thing? So
because now
maybe this was just a tease that they could bring women in, and they're not against bringing women into the Dark Order. So
yeah, because this will put like a person in every single division. You have the tag team, men and women, all being represented in the Dark Order.
Yeah, and I don't know if you caught this, but when Colt Cabana was opening up the envelope, I think it was Isaiah Quinn. No, Cass. I forget which one it was, but he like looked over because he was standing next to him. And he like peeped at the contract, and he gave that like funny face, and he like
gave it
backed away.
he was like
That's not my
I don't
business.
know. Yeah, he was like I don't know, and then he's like, it's not my business. Yeah, so we'll find out later what that paper that Colt Cabana saw in the envelope later in the show. And then after this match, we have MJF versus Billy Gunn, or just
And
Billy.
this was just a really fun, there were a lot of funny comedy spots here,
Mm-hmm.
and there were some serious spots, but we all knew MJF was going to get the win here.
Yeah,
it was just I kind of figured the ring would be involved too. So
yeah, this is more like a match to get over how like more of MJF's character, just to show that he's kind of like he can beat up the kind of the smaller guys, I guess. And then when he gets on someone who's like a lot bigger than them, he can just like a sneak out, he'll win no matter what.
I keep forgetting how big Billy Gunn is, like until he's like in the ring with people. Like he was bigger than Luchasaurus, like during that battle royal or whatever they had.
Yeah,
like that's
because
crazy.
Don't forget he came from a time of WWE where you gotta be a certain size. So of course he's gonna be bigger than everybody else in AEW right now. So yeah, of course, like there was a lot of like you said, like the comedy stuff, like MJF like kind of like runs out of the ring, and then like Billy has to carry him all the way back.
Yeah, and then there was something where he's like, "Good sportsmanship, yeah, great sportsmanship."
Oh yeah, that was when MJF tried to go for a hip toss or like an arm drag, and he failed at doing that, so he just kind of shook his hand and was like, "Yeah, good sportsmanship."
Yeah, it's just classic. And then Wardlow was, doing his Wardlow things outside, giving that like serious face the whole time, and it does get announced. Good. I'm really excited for next week's match. If they announce after.
Because Wardlow was basically he was the one who really turned around the match for MJF after injuring, going after Billy's leg, which will lead to the end where I was also at one point I was surprised that Aubrey kind of got really into this match with when MJF was using the ropes for leverage when he was like using a submission, and then Aubrey just comes over and kicks the ropes to break it up.
Yeah, I know Aubrey, like her character. Like I know her and MJF have a lot of tension.
Yeah,
I mean, and it's like her and Chris Jericho. Like, they have a lot of I don't know what the word is. Like tension. It's just it's really cool to see the refs getting involved. Because normally in other companies, like they don't really mention the refs at all, their names or anything. And AEW
Aubrey just has a different presence about her.
Yeah, she's definitely one of the best refs right now in the world.
Like she has like the way that I could describe it is almost like an Earl Hebner kind of thing, where he's not like he was never afraid to get physical with the guys that he was reffing.
Yeah, and obviously this is a huge, step forward for, women reffing and that kind of thing. So she's doing a really good job of, showing that.
Yeah, so of course, like I said, Wardlow tosses the ring to MJF, and he was able to punch Billy with it to get the win.
Yeah.
Never forget about the Dynamite ring.
Yeah, and I mean, they're doing a really good job of keeping that relevant, so I'm happy about it.
So then after the match ends, a fight breaks out between MJF, Wardlow, and the Jurassic Express.
Yeah, and that's
up later.
Yeah, I can't wait for next week. I love Wardlow. A lot of talent there. I'll be interested to see what they do with him and Luchasaurus, which we talk about.
So the next segment on the show, they have a interview with Les Sex Gods of Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara. Where right away Marvez gets called a fathead by Jericho, which I knew you'd probably enjoy.
I was waiting for it. I was waiting to hear whatever comment he had to say, but he just keeps going back to the fathead. So I mean, it's fine by me. You know my stance on Alex Marvez, so I'm all for Alex Marvez like slander.
And this is where Jericho says the reasons why he's so mad at Orange Cassidy is because he keeps getting in the Inner Circle's way. And then Jericho says that the reason why they'll be able to beat the Best Friends is because they are him and Sammy are blood brothers, not just friends. and blood or orange juice is thicker than water.
Yeah, it's just classic Jericho, and then Sammy also is so good. It's just Sammy. I mean, we've talked about this too. Is just how much Sammy has grown since being with Jericho. It was like an amazing decision to put them together in the inner circle and stuff like that, and it's really cool to see Sammy learning a lot, and I don't know, just great backstage interview here.
Yeah, also like on social media, Sammy's been like sharing this picture leading up to this the match that happened yesterday, where it was like Jericho was holding some little kid back in like WCW, and he was saying that like, and now we're here with him with Sammy, and it was like okay, it's like, and he's pointing out like okay, that's not exactly Sammy, the kid that he's holding.
Yeah.
But
People think it is, and I'm like, dude, there's not. It's not even think it's possible. I think
yeah.
Sammy's like 20. 25, 26. Like, I mean,
I think
don't
even
know.
Jericho points that out on like one of the comments. Was like the kid is probably not Sammy.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think that's him. But people, whatever gets it over.
It's just funny. It's such a Sammy thing to do.
Yeah, classic.
So then after that segment, they have an attempted interview with Britt Baker with Tony, which this where he points out that Penelope Ford's going to be going against Hikaru Shida at Fyter Fest, and then Britt Baker doesn't want to listen to what he has to say after that.
Yeah, and I mean, before this, the whole show, like they had this like little zip line, or like I don't even know what it was, a line, and like Britt Baker wrote whatever she wanted them to say, and just sent it to Tony because they have that little friendship going. Now they're in a friendship timeout, which I mean, which we're talking about right now. That's what leads to the friendship timeout.
Yeah, they had like a clothesline and like a pulley system to get up little like notes to tell the announcers to say. And that we find out who's driving the Rolls Royce was it was a big Swole.
Yeah, and I was hoping they would continue this, which they did, but I was hoping they would be like driving around Florida, and she would just be in the back of the thing. But they didn't do that. I mean, I'm sure with like Corona rules and stuff, they probably couldn't leave certain premises like without getting tested again, like those kind of things. So, but they did a really cool job with this. That angle that they had there.
And like when Big Swole was like, "Where to, Doctor?" and she looked back.
Yeah, because Britt's stuck. She can't move. She's up on top, like she's not on the ground. So
nice reference to a little Undertaker segment that happened on WWE a while back.
Yeah.
And so the next match after that was the TNT title match, where with Cody, which we don't know who the opponent was until Arn announces who it was in like a little promo beforehand, where even then like they talked with Cody a little bit, and he said like, you didn't like, is there a Elite right now? Is there a Nightmare Family? And it's like, that's kind of a weird thing for him to bring up.
That was a little tease at a heel turn, A little bit, I guess. I'd be for a Cody heel run, honestly. I think it would be fun.
I mean, yeah, I guess I could go for that route right now, but I think if they do that, they'll have to get rid of Arn.
Yeah, probably, unless Arn turns heel with him.
Maybe.
And then they do. I don't know. They could do a lot of fun things with this. Obviously, Cody has a pretty good creative mind, so. I'm sure they have something in store. Maybe not a heel turn, maybe something else, but I don't know. They're teasing it.
Yeah, and then this is where Arn announced that he picked out a opponent for Cody to I guess test his skills and help him get better. Is Ricky Starks, who is the former NWA television champion.
He's okay. This was a huge signing. Many people don't know about. I mean, a good amount of people, like the pretty involved wrestling fans, but like the general wrestling fan probably wouldn't know much about him, but they will soon. He has a really good promo skill. They have a lot of cool promo videos. We saw it.
Yeah, they even show a vignette on Dynamite.
They had a little vignette here, but if you go on his YouTube or like his Twitter, there's a bunch of promos that they have really cool edits and all this stuff. And he's a great wrestler too. It's going to be a huge signing. He's a really great character, and it sounds like I read after the show, Dave Meltzer, I think Pro Wrestling Observer, I think that's where he writes for. I blanking on the name right now. He said that they didn't like this was a tryout match and they loved it, so they signed him immediately after, and they even have a program now for him. So I'm interested to see what kind of program or promo thing they have going on for him because it's going to be great.
Yeah, and it was a really good match as well.
Yeah, solid match. Obviously, he wasn't going to win. Yeah. I mean, we all know. Again, like this is what I mean. Like they shouldn't announce. Like if Hager was going to show up, Hager should have been after this, or like I think it was too early for it.
Yeah, because they really just kind of put over that the only reason why this match happened was kind of like a practice run for Cody.
Yeah, I just wish they would have waited for Hager until tonight, and then it would have made Ricky Starks be like, oh, is Ricky Starks gonna beat him?
Yeah.
Just I don't know, it kind of diminished his debut, even though he had a great debut. I think that would have elevated it more.
Yeah, it probably would have elevated more if they did do that. So yeah, of course, Cody would get the win with the Crossroads later in the match to win, and of course it was a really good match because there was a lot of good showings from Ricky Starks, some tornado DDTs. I think there was a spear at one point that he uses.
Yeah, he had a deadly spear there, and then they had that suplex off the top rope too. Really cool spot. But yeah, I'm excited for Ricky Starks. There's a lot of different ways they could go with this. A lot of people he could wrestle. MJF and him would be fun. He has a great character, so he could pretty much go with anybody.
Yeah, and of course, like I said, this is the second time a Rhodes got kneed in the face, pretty for real. And here.
Yeah, I forgot about Dustin after that until they mentioned that. I was like, wow, they're taking a beating tonight. But Cody again, putting his body on the line.
Also, when Cody got whipped into those ring ropes, when kind of Starks just threw him into the bottom two ropes, that looked pretty sick.
Yeah. Great,
Cody's body just kind of whipped back after that. And it was like, ugh.
Yeah. I'm just. So did they announce if Cody's wrestling next week or no?
I don't think they did.
Because they announced officially the match for Fyter Fest, but because Cody said he's going to wrestle every Dynamite, so I was like, okay, well, maybe not, but
yeah, I don't know. I didn't hear anything about if he's wrestling next week.
Yeah, I didn't. Sure. They didn't announce anything, so because they went straight to the Fyter Fest, so. Which it's just going to be a match we're going to have to, get by. It's going to probably be a not too good of one. Cody's probably just going to win, and then they're going to move on. After that, I'm excited to see where they take it.
It's going to be kind of like Double or Nothing, where we said that it was either going to be a good match or it was going to be a bad match. It was going
but I think this is just going to be a bad. I don't think this is going to be a good match at all this time. I don't think this one's going to be good. Surprise me, Jake Hager, please. Surprise me, and Jake Hager and Cody, please surprise me.
Cody's been able to pull off some good matches with people, so maybe, who knows?
Yeah, maybe there's some crazy spot that they're willing to take a bump for that I don't know. I'm not thinking of, but we gotta wait and see.
So the next match on the show is between the Superbad Squad, Jimmy Havoc, and Kip Sabian versus the Young Bucks.
Yeah, it used to be the Superbad Death Squad, so they took out Death. Still a terrible name, but they do have new intro music or theme music, whatever you want to call it. So it was kind of interesting. It kind of fit more at Jimmy Havoc's, kind of style than Kip Sabian's. It wasn't a good mix.
Because he even pointed out really early that referee Rick Knox found pliers that was that Havoc was trying to conceal before the match.
This is the type of Havoc I like. This is the dirty kind of stuff they bring.
He always tries to bring in a weapon no matter what.
Yeah, and they used a wet floor sign. This is I'm okay with this Jimmy Havoc. A Jimmy Havoc where he's straight up just wrestling and not using anything. I don't really like.
Which I thought this was a pretty good match for because I know you were kind of doubting it beforehand. But I thought this was a pretty good match.
The Young Bucks, classic Young Bucks,
doing all their double team stuff.
Yeah, they also elevated the match a lot.
I remember seeing
they carried it, but they did it really well.
Like I remember seeing at one point they did like a neck breaker, back breaker kind of thing.
Yeah, their moveset is incredible.
Yeah, it's probably one of the most diverse movesets on the entire roster.
For sure.
So a lot of I would say kind of interference with the Butcher and the Blade and FTR come out at one point. They kind of keep the Butcher and the Blade at bay.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see where they go with this. As also, I say this with a lot of AEW things, which is good because you want to be interested in the product. Mm-hmm. So I just don't know where you go with this because Butcher and the Blade already faced FTR. So I get they can still have beef, but like, where did the FTR? I mean, who does FTR face right now? Next week? Did they know?
I'm not sure. I think
it was
missed
the
it.
super. I think it was the Super Bad Squad or whatever they're called.
Okay.
I think, if I remember correctly. But anyways, yeah, anytime I knew FTR was coming out, it was just a matter of time.
Yeah.
They were actually supporting the Young Bucks there. They were kind of like rooting them on and like trying to help them out a little bit. So they're kind of in that middle phase of like, are they a heel or a face? But I'm sure they'll. I mean, who even knows? Yeah.
And the ending sequence, I loved in this match where they had they kind of somehow got Havoc and Sabian, like Sabian having like a tombstone position on the Havoc, and the Bucks made Sabian tombstone pile drive Havoc, the Kamagoye.
Yeah, that was a really cool spot. We knew the Young Bucks weren't losing because they're telling the FTR that they're the best tag team in the world. They're not going to lose. Right after them saying that, so
yeah. So they said they hit the Kamagoye on Sabian to win the match, which then afterwards a big fight breaks out between the Bucks, FTR, and Butcher and the Blade.
Yeah, and then they had another really cool spot here after the scrum or whatever you want to call it, where they both did like the same finisher, but like the FTR in one corner, Young Bucks in the other.
Yeah, so after this, they have a promo now featuring Taz and Brian Cage.
This was so good.
Yeah, it was a really good promo.
Yeah, I don't know. They're just great. And the Moxley promo later was great too. I'm really looking forward to this match.
I like that in the first. They were just doing some body guy stuff.
Yeah,
and then they hear Moxley yelling.
Yeah, great. And Cage was trying not to laugh.
And then, of course, he says that Moxley calling himself miserable, something Taz did decades ago.
Yeah, he said he called him an SOB and all that stuff.
And then Brian Cage got to say some stuff too.
Yeah, he was able to talk. He said he wishes Fyter Fest were right now. The mood he's in, he'd destroy John Moxley like right now. He's not sure what he'd do, but he doesn't know if he'd rather get the title or murder Moxley. So. Good options there for him. Which one do you want to do? I'd rather get the title, but this match is going to be a brutal match, but it's going to be a really fun one.
Because afterwards they have a Moxley vignette where he calls himself the judge, jury, and executioner of AEW. And he has demons, and the only thing that's keeping them at bay is the violence he does to others.
And another great Moxley promo.
Yeah.
I mean, really couldn't ask for much better than this.
Some of the most intense promos that have been happening right now between these guys.
Yeah, this is obviously the match I'm most looking forward to.
Yeah.
And then probably Orange Cassidy and Chris Jericho, which...
Oh, we'll get to that. Yeah, we're going to get to that.
Yeah.
So, after this, they announced some stuff that for next week. They announced Sammy Guevara versus Matt Hardy.
And next week? The Matt Hardy of Sammy's choosing.
Yeah, the Matt Hardy of Sammy's choosing.
Matt Hardy, Sammy chose the original Matt Hardy today as we're recording this morning. He picked the original one, the first version or whatever.
And then after this, they announced they're having Brody Lee and Cole Cabana. This is what they found from that paper that they gave Cole Cabana, is going against Joey Janela and Sonny Kiss. Yeah,
and Joey Janela and Sonny, we talked about that last week. They're trying to build them up as a team, so I don't know if they're going to lose the first match. I mean, they've had dark matches, but the first, a Dynamite match together, I don't know if they'll have them lose. Or
there
what?
could be some, I don't know, maybe some problems between Colt Cabana and Brody Lee.
Yeah, I wonder if Colt Cabana is just gonna like just do a swerve and just joke with them about it. I don't know.
And the next match they announced next week is a lumberjack match between Wardlow and Luchasaurus.
Now, if you remember, this was announced like the very, very first show that they did with no fans. They announced that for like next week or whatever, and then people were like, "Oh, 6 feet apart." This was when it was like prime coronavirus or whatever you want to call it.
Like
so then they scrapped it.
Like early April, late May kind of time.
Yeah, because lumberjack, obviously, there's a bunch of wrestlers around the ring. So.
Yeah, I do kind of remember that. Yeah, it was a while ago, but yeah.
It was this one. They announced this, and then the street fight between the Lucha Bros and Best Friends, I believe, and both of those got canceled, or not canceled, but postponed or whatever.
Yeah, they also announced that FTR match that will also be happening next week. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, which I believe is against the Super Bad Squad. Which I mean, FTR is definitely get another win, and then I'm sure people are going to get involved. So it'll be a fun one.
Maybe there'll be a multi-team tag match at Fyter Fest.
That's what I'm wondering. What they're trying to do, because they're gonna wait. I don't know they're smart enough. They're waiting for that match for the Young Bucks and FTR until there's crowds again.
Yeah, I bet that.
100%. Unless it's like so excessive that they can't wait like that long, like unless. But who knows with this whole Corona thing right now? But yeah, they're definitely gonna wait. And good thing is there's plenty of tag teams available for FTR to go have a feud with. You could still do Santana and Ortiz. That would be fun.
That would be fun.
Yeah, there's just a lot of great. Like you don't have to rush into the Young Bucks, which is a great thing.
The next segment on the show was they found, continuing on with Britt Baker, was she is found in a garbage can, like a garbage like bin, like a what do I call it? A garbage dump, and after being driven off by Big Swole.
Yeah, and she was sitting. I was like, "Oh no, this is gonna go great." And then he was like yelling for Reba, or Reba Reba comes and looks for her, and then she says, "Oh, you're fired, Reba," or whatever. And then she
fires her,
she's like, "No,
and then rehires.
You're hired again." I don't think this was amazing kind of thing here, but it was a fun little segment.
Yeah, I felt like they could have done more with Britt Baker getting driven away by Big Swole.
Yeah, I could have seen them just driving around like the area and like people at catering and stuff. And like she's just in the back like screaming for help. But, like no one wants to help her because it's Britt Baker. So I think they could have done some fun stuff with that.
Yeah, at the end it says that Baker will do anything she can to get Big Swole, even sue.
Yeah. And obviously, I'm sure this feud's gonna be a long-lasting feud too. Obviously, Britt's hurt.
Yeah, and clearly, like they want to do is have a match between the two when she gets back to full health.
Yeah. I mean, solid little cool segment there. Nothing crazy.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what they do because she said, Swole's gonna pay for it or whatever. So we'll have to see.
So time for the main event of the show. Matt Hardy comes out to the announce desk for it between Lay Sex Gods, Chris Jericho, and Sammy Guevara. I still can't get over that name sometimes. Against the Best Friends.
And of course, JR, when Matt Hardy hopped on, JR was like, "So Matt, what version are you right now?" Like, oh my god, why do you have to say that? Like, that's just like, to me, that's burying the talent, like burying the gimmick. Like he's not supposed to know what version he is. I don't think. I don't know. Maybe I'm just thinking wrong, but I feel like he should know what version he is. I think that's part of the gimmick.
Yeah, they also have on the Best Friends put up their #1 contendership for the tag titles in this match as well.
The one thing that disappointed me about this match, though, is when Jericho came out, I was like, please have Sammy sing. And
which he was.
And they cut it to commercial.
And they cut the commercial. You got to hear a little bit of it.
Yeah, but I didn't hear it. That's kind of made me upset a little bit because I love Sammy singing. So they need to. I mean, I'm sure we'll hear it again, but I really was upset by that.
So this match really showed a different side of the best friends. They came out really aggressive in this match.
Yeah, I mean, they came out, just straight blood. Like, they didn't care about the rules at all. It was just kind of like getting back for Orange Cassidy. But this was a really fun match. A lot of fun spots here with Trent Beretta and Sammy.
Yeah, Jericho's trying to utilize the bat as well multiple times in this match.
Really fun match. There were a lot of drop kicks, like flying spots. It's really
as
fun,
well as some like power move stuff.
Yeah.
And there's that one part where Sammy gets dropped onto the top turnbuckle, and there you can overhear on the camera's audio, "Ow, my Spanish God."
He said not my Spanish gods or something. That's like, he's so good. He's only like 26 so good too. Like, he has so much room to improve, and obviously you've seen how much he's grown in months with Jericho. Like, I don't know. It's interesting though. They're trying to tease that Sammy Guevara leaving the Inner Circle. I think it's maybe a little too early for that.
Yeah, I think it's still a little too early.
Yeah, I think it could work though, but I think I'd wait a little bit more.
Yeah. So there's a lot of different close spots in this match. Like there's that one time where Sammy hits Trent with the bat, and then also it's a shooting star press, and Trent kicked out of that. There is a lot of close
high flying, like his shooting star presses, 630s, a lot of fun high spots for Sammy.
Yeah, and the best friends were able to get the win after Sammy got tripped up by a cameraman.
Yeah.
And he had that, like, I don't even know how you'd call it, what that move that Trent does, where it's kind of like he just kind of like drives your opponent's head while he's like underneath him. I don't know what you call that.
The awful waffle or whatever.
That one's the awful waffle is oh my god, can't think of his name right now. That was that like running tombstone that that Chuck Taylor does.
I'm trying to think of what that name. Falcon Arrow.
I can't remember.
But
I
don't know. It's really cool.
I can't remember the name. It's a really good finisher that Trent does, but I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head. But afterwards, we find out, of course, who that cameraman was Orange Cassidy.
Yeah. This was great. I mean, it was weird because I'm used to seeing him in denim, in the blue jeans and everything. So it was funny seeing him not in Orange Cassidy attire.
Yeah, that's true. It isn't normal Orange Cassidy attire, which of course he takes off the mask and like glasses, and of course he's underneath it.
He went full sprint at him.
Full sprint at Jericho
this time.
Yeah, he's making a lot of efforts going for Jericho.
Yeah, Jericho really must have pissed him off.
You really have to piss him off to get him to try so hard. So that, of course, is what they set up for Orange Cassidy against Jericho at Fyter Fest.
Honestly, I think Cassidy goes over there, and I think he gets the win. But
I don't know. That match is so hard to pick right now. Like, it could go either way.
I just think, I don't think Jericho will lose much at all if he took a loss there. So, I think either way, there's going to be a lot of fun spops in that match.
I just like some of the fans' responses, just like, what, did they want Jericho to die?
Yeah. Like, I don't know if Jericho's going to be able to survive those brutal kicks and stuff like that.
Like, as right now, I think the two matches I'm most interested in for Fyter Fest is Jericho and Orange Cassidy, and Moxley and Cage.
Honestly, though, the best friend, that tag match is going to be really good, though.
Yeah, that tag match is also going to be really good.
I think best friends could get the W there too. I think they could take the belts, and
it could be a big day for the best friends.
Yeah, could get that trio win there. Now that I'm thinking about it, that's probably what's going to happen. Now that I think about it, they're all going to embrace at the end, and they're going to have the belts. I don't know. I'm picturing it in my head right now.
Yeah, it could potentially be a very big 2 days for the best friends, and honestly, it's gonna be a really good 2 weeks of shows.
Yeah, I can't wait. I mean, we got the go home show, and there's some great matches on there. AEW is continually doing a great job. I mean, there was that one episode where I was like, but me at least. I forget, it was like 2 weeks ago, I believe.
Yeah, they've been really trying their best to put out the best show possible.
Yeah, and with this Corona thing, obviously Florida had a spike in cases again because people aren't. I mean, everything's reopening, so who knows? I mean, I really want fans back. Like, it's kind of getting to me now. Like, I just want like some sort of fans. Like, obviously the wrestlers are great being fans, but
we just want the coronavirus to go away. Is basically.
Yeah, basically. I mean, I don't know.
Just stop. Just needs to go away. It's over.
I just hope there's not like a second wave or whatever in the fall, and I just hope we can just go back to normal very, very soon, like by September, October. But who knows?
So yeah, we really are looking forward to next week. Definitely that Wardlow Luchasaurus match, and same Guevara and Matt Hardy.
Next 3 weeks are going to be really fun.
Yeah, it should be. It should be a lot of fun.
Do you know when when they're wrestling, like when the cage match is? Is that?
I don't know. I don't really know how they're gonna. I don't know how they're really gonna do it right now because I don't think Daly's place is big enough to have that match.
Which one?
The cage match that they've been talking about for a while.
Oh yeah, true.
Oh, are you talking about the Brian Cage?
Yeah, match? Brian Cage. Well, that too, but yeah, Brian Cage. Yeah.
All right.
I was like, wait, what? Cage?
Sorry, I read that wrong. Okay.
I mean, they could probably just do it in the football field if we're being honest.
All right. I'm sorry. I can't.
No, I mean both questions are good questions. I don't know. I think they're gonna hold off the actual cage.
Yeah, match. Yeah. The blood and guts cage match will happen sometime in the future. The Brian Cage match will happen at on the July 8th. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be the last match of the Fyre Fest.
That would make sense. Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think of 2 hours. Like, definitely because they're defending all the titles. So there's 4 titles because you got the tag, the women's division, the men's, and then the TNT title. Then there's gonna have to be some other matches here and like filler matches.
I'm thinking that what we're probably gonna do is have 2 title matches. They're probably gonna have 2. They're probably what they're gonna do is have 2 title matches for each day.
I'd probably do the tag and the women's division, and then TNT and the cage, Brian Cage, and then John Moxley. So
yeah. So of course we're saying all the weeks ahead are gonna be really exciting. That's for sure.
Can't wait.
Should be a lot of fun.
Can't wait.
So that's gonna have to do it for this week's episode. My name is Shawn Blong.
I'm Justin Bradley.
Make sure to tune into next week's episode. Should be a lot of fun.